Hello, traders. FX Pip Collector here. Today is Saturday, March 9th, and this is my outlook for next week. These are things that I'm going to be looking for next week, what I expect to see next week, and what direction I'm going to be trading in next week. Now, I'm going to run through this whole list of pairs right here from all the way from top to bottom, which I do run through these pairs every single day in my members live stream. I do a members live stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during the London sessions on the 7:30 a.m. And I also do a New York live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday where I take live trades during these sessions. I also share my potential swing trade setups, access to the private channels, and access to the 30 plus video trading course. If anybody is interested in the Patreon membership, definitely check that out. The link is in the chats. But every single live stream that I do, we run through everything on this list and we do enter trades during these live streams together as a group. So this is the outcome for next week, what I am looking for, what direction I'm looking for, what direction I'm trading in. So let's just look at the news calendar real quick for next week. So daylight savings time is on Sunday, so you have to remember that there's only going to be 4 hours difference between New York and London. So that's pretty important information, whether you live in the US or London or UK or Europe or whatever. Obviously there's only going to be 4 hours difference. So Monday there's not really much going on. A little bit of Chinese news. Tuesday we got some UK news, climate count, average earnings, and then on Tuesday we got CPI for the dollar. That is definitely going to be a big market mover for the dollar. Then on Wednesday we got GDP for the pound. We got 30-year bonds. That's another pretty decent one. Both of those. Thursday we got a little bit of stuff. Man, next week is definitely all about the US dollar, that's for sure. We got CPI, we got core retail sales, we got PPI, retail sales, unemployment claims on Thursday. And then on Friday, the big thing on Friday is definitely this consumer sentiment. The primary consumer sentiment is the good one. This is the one that definitely does move the dollar pairs pretty well. So we definitely got a pretty decent amount of news next week to look out for. But next week is really all about the dollar. There's a little bit of pound news in there, but mostly all the news is for the US dollar. So the dollar is probably going to be a high priority next week, that's for sure. So I'm going to start at the bottom of this list. I'm going to work my way all the way up to the more popular pairs like the euro dollar, pound, and all those. We'll do those towards the end. So Bitcoin, man, Bitcoin did make its way all the way up to about $70,000, as you can see, on new all-time highs. This is extremely clear that this is a 1, this is a 2, and this is a wave 3. Is the wave 3 over? Well, there's no break of structure, there's no lower high, there's no engulfing move to the downside at a Fibonacci level. There's nothing really telling us that this wave 3 is over. I mean, we are at the 278 Fibonacci extension of wave 1 projected out the bottom of wave 2. You would think that the wave 3 would end pretty shortly, but it doesn't have to end here. It could extend more. So taking it down to, the sort of time frames, let's take it down to like the 1 hour. So I would definitely be looking for longs unless we had a very significant break of structure to the downside. As of right now, this is my significant break of structure because is what will confirm to me that the wave 3 is over. Once the wave 3 is over, then we will make a big wave 4 on the daily, and the wave 4 will probably be a pretty good sized correction, maybe end up being something like this. And then I would expect to see at least one more push up for wave 5. And honestly, with the way things are going with Bitcoin, I mean, this could just be a subdivision of a much larger trend. Bitcoin could easily just keep on trending up. So definitely looking for longs at least until we get a break of structure to the downside. That's for sure. Taking it down to the SPX, the US 500. The US 500 has been another one that has been in a big uptrend. And same type of thing. No break of structure to the downside. My most recent significant break of structure is right here. No lower high. No big engulfing move at a Fibonacci level. All that information tells me that I am still looking for longs on shorter time frames. I mean, really, if you've been looking for longs over the past several weeks, and you've probably been doing pretty good with trading this pair to the long side, every single pullback, especially on shorter time frames, you should just be looking to get long for the continuation of this uptrend, at least until you get a significant break of structure to the downside, which we definitely do not have as of yet. Natural gas is another one that is a favorite of a few of my members, so we do analyze it. I do think that it's a good pair, and I do want to start trading it myself. I do think it is also very clear that this is a 1, 2, 3, and this is a 4. We turned right at the 38% Fibonacci retracement of wave 3. I think there's a pretty good chance that we're now in a downtrend and we're probably going to go down and take out this low to make a wave 5. So with that information in mind, I would definitely be looking for shorts at the end of pullbacks, especially on the shorter time frames. So oil WTI is another one that is a favorite of a lot of people, taking it up to the daily time frame. I do think there's a very good chance that this is a correction to this move down. I was expecting it to hit the 50% level, and we do not have a break of structure to the downside yet. So as of right now, I mean, I still would primarily be looking for more longs. Unless it significantly starts breaking some structure to the downside, then I would switch up and start looking for shorts. But since we don't have a break of structure to the downside, and since we have not hit that 50% Fibonacci retracement, I think there's a pretty good chance that it is probably going to go up and hit that Fibonacci level, and then if it goes down and breaks structure, where I would start looking for shorts. But since it has not done that yet, I would for sure still be looking to go long on shorter time frames. It actually does kind of look like an ABC correction on the shorter time frames too. So if it turns into an engulfing move to the upside, I would definitely take it as a long. So now let's get into the Forex pairs, the Kiwi Swiss. The Kiwi Swiss, out of all the Swiss pairs, it is one of the only ones that I think looks like it could possibly be an a B, and a C. All the other Swiss pairs don't really look like they've finished any correction, but this one does. So, I mean, I would be cautious about it because honestly, the fact that all the other Swiss pairs look like they're still going up, this one may easily keep going up too. But it seems pretty likely, especially with this impulsive move down, that this would make a lower high and go down also, and this would possibly be a wave 5. So I would definitely keep an eye out for a lower high as some sort of an engulfing move to the downside, maybe a break of structure on like the 1 hour range, which it still hasn't been able to break structure. But if it does go down, if it does break structure, I would definitely go short on the 1 hour time frame. That would very clearly to me be an ABC correction. But if it doesn't do this break of structure to the downside, then that would not be a short for me. I would actually continue to look for longs on the 1 hour time frame. I mean, who knows? It could go up to 78%, then break structure. So until you get that significant break of structure to the downside, I am definitely on the long side. The Kiwi CAD. Yeah, I could see multiple outlooks on this Kiwi CAD. I mean, honestly, this move down kind of looks like it should be an A, and this move up kind of looks like it should be a B, and it looks like it should go down like a C, which would kind of line up with what you see on the Kiwi Swiss too. So I kind of the same type of thing. I would probably be looking for a lower high in the sort of time frames with like a break of structure. If it does do that, then I think it's pretty much proven that it would go down for wave C. So let's take it right down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, Fibonacci retracement is on this whole move down. We don't have a really a break of structure to the downside yet. I mean, I don't really see any evidence that it's actually going down. So I would definitely be looking for longs until we do get that break of structure. If we do get that break of structure, then I would switch up and start looking for shorts. If we don't get that break of structure, which we definitely have not yet, even if it does go down a little more and break that structure, that doesn't really tell me anything. I would be looking right now, the most important structure is way down here. So I would still be looking for longs. If we get a Fibonacci bounce, get like that double top and then a break of structure, then I would go short. Until that happens, I am definitely on the long side. The CAD Swiss. I mean, technically, I am looking for shorts on the CAD Swiss. I can see a couple of different possibilities for this. Either this is an ABC right here, and this is a top, and this is now in a downtrend, or this is actually still trending up. And looking at all the other Swiss pairs, I actually am kind of leaning towards this as an outcome. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, yeah, I mean, technically I'm looking for shorts because it is making lower lows, lower highs. But I would be a little cautious on this. Looking at all the other Swiss pairs, it may actually keep going up. Usually when I'm uncertain and I have multiple outlooks like that, I usually actually don't trade it just because I want to trade clarity. And that's probably not the clearest thing in the world for me. The Aussie Kiwi, it broke out of this contracting triangle, but now it's back up in it. A lot of the times, the first break out of a contracting triangle is a false break, and I think that's exactly what happened here. I mean, I do have my Fibonacci retracement here just in case it does prove that it is a correction and it does prove that it's going back down. But I think at this rate, it's probably more likely that it's going to head up towards the top of this and maybe even break out of the top. And then that probably will be the real end of a correction and the real continuation of the downtrend. So I would definitely be looking for longs on this one. I would definitely only be going long at the end of pullbacks, which I think it needs to make a proper ABC correction before I'm willing to go long. If I see three waves down and pulse up, I would definitely take it as a long opportunity. And the Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss, like I was saying before, pretty much all the other Swiss pairs actually look like they're in an uptrend. I actually think this is an A over here. I think this is a big drawn out ABC, a B. I think this is actually going to keep on trending up towards one of these higher fib levels, so that way it takes out the high of wave A. It looks like it should be an ABC of 4. So I am definitely looking for pullback entries on sort of time frames to go long. I am 100% looking for longs on this thing. I would like to see a nice three-way pullback. If I do, then I would definitely take it as a long opportunity. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is another one that's very, very strong to the upside. Now, if this, you almost got to go all the way up to the weekly to see this because I actually think there's a pretty good chance that this is in a big, big uptrend, which I'm calling a wave Y. So until proven otherwise, unlike the daily time frame, my roadmap time frames, I am definitely looking for longs in an uptrend at the end of pullbacks on shorter time frames. Same type of thing, three waves down, impulsive up, entry to go long. The pound Kiwi, some of these Kiwi and Aussie cross pairs, like the pound Kiwi, pound Aussie, yo Kiwi, did make a significant turn to the downside. But this one never did break structure to the downside, so I'm definitely still on the long side. I actually think this is the end of a Kretzen back here, and if that is the end of a Kretzen, this may actually just keep on going up. So at least for now, at least until we get a solid break of structure like some of the other ones, I am definitely looking for longs at the end of pullbacks on shorter time frames. Now, the Kiwi Aussie did break structure to the downside, but I'm starting to wonder if some of these breaks of structure are just kind of like a bear trap. I mean, it definitely did break structure, but it really didn't hold below structure. It's kind of just spiked below structure. I mean, maybe it will make an ABC correction, but I'm still kind of leaning towards longs, honestly. I do have it as shorts because it did definitely break structure. And if you take it down to the sort of time frames, what I think is most likely to happen is that this is like an A right here, and this is probably going to bounce off of Fibonacci and make a wave B, and then go down, make a wave C, and then continue the uptrend from there. But I would definitely be keeping an eye on this for a short, but I would be very cautious. It's probably just going to be a wave C, and then eventually it's probably going to just keep on trending up. So pound Swiss. Like I was saying, all the Swiss pairs to me are in a big uptrend. I actually think that this is very likely to be a wave A. I think this is very likely a wave B. I actually think that this is going to go up and take out the high of wave A, which probably brings us all the way up to about the 1.17 area. Something like that is, I think, is the most likely scenario for that. So I am for sure looking for longs at the end of pullbacks on shorter time frames. Pound Canadian is very, very clearly in an uptrend still. If you take this one all the way up to the weekly, I actually have a very, very high target on this one too. So I am for sure, definitely looking for longs. Looking for longs at the end of pullbacks. I mean, I'm sure that this is not just going to trend up in one straight line. It's probably going to make high, low, high, low, high, low series, which is really good news for us because at the end of every single one of these pullbacks is where I will be looking to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. Now, the pound kiwi, like I said, some of these, the euro kiwi that is, some of these cross pairs do kind of look like they tried to make a significant turn, but I'm really not convinced because I think it's just a bear trap, and I'm actually trusting this big ABC correction. This is actually an ABCDE, but I trust this ABCDE correction to be the bottom right here. If that is true, then this is going to bounce off one of these fib levels and just keep on going up. So, I mean, technically, you could be looking for shorts on sort of time frames, but I think there's a pretty good likelihood that this is just going to be a correction. It's going to go down and then probably back up, which will cause a higher low on the daily time frame. Yo, Aussie is actually one of the ones that looks like it might have actually made a real turn. Because, boy, this definitely looks like three waves down, which is why I changed it to a W. Three waves up looks like an X. If this really is now a wave Y, then it's going to make three waves down for a wave Y. But if this is not, if some of these other cross pairs that I just talked about, the pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, Euro Kiwi, are not going down in a significant way, then this one may not go down in a significant way also. So we have to be careful. This possibly could just make a correction and just keep on going up. So this does look like a WXY, but we do have to be very, very careful. I think that some of these could be making a bear trap. The euro pound. We've been trying to figure out for the last couple of weeks in the members area whether this is a wave C or whether it's a wave 3. Never broke structure to the upside. Definitely still looking for sorts. Now, if it does bounce and break structure to the upside, then I will switch up and I'll start looking for longs and I'll know that it's a wave C. If it doesn't break structure to the upside, I will definitely continue to look for sorts. And honestly, if it really is a wave 3, then it probably has a long ways to go to the downside. So it may just keep on trending down on these higher time frames. So I for sure am looking for shorts until proven otherwise. Yo, Swiss, like I said, I'm very bullish on all the Swiss pairs. The only one that even looks remotely like it could go down is the Kiwi Swiss. And I'm starting to think more and more that that might not even go down either. I personally think this is a 1, 2, 3. And I don't even think the wave 3 is over. I think it needs to go up to one of these higher levels, probably up to this support area, probably eventually make a 4 and eventually make a wave 5. So that information is for sure telling me that I'm looking for longs still on shorter time frames. The Euro Kiwi, I was wondering if the Euro CAD that is, I was wondering if the Euro CAD was actually going to end the wave 1 and go down and make a wave 2 and then later go up for a wave 3. But boy, it definitely, that big move that we had down definitely did not break structure and now it's going back up. So definitely looking for longs until we get a significant break of structure to the downside. I think this is the end of a correction. If it is the end of a correction, then it might not even make a big wave 2. It might just continue to make little pullbacks and just keep on trending up. At some point, you would think that it would make like a wave 2 pullback, which would be bigger. But until we get some sort of a break of structure, definitely looking for longs on shorter time frames. Now the yen pairs, man, these yen pairs definitely did make a pretty significant turn. Now I don't, I the yen pairs. One thing you have to realize about the yen pairs is we are in a 5-year uptrend right now on the yen pairs on the weekly and monthly time frames. So thinking that this right here is going to be a significant top and this thing is going to trend down for a significant period of time may not be correct. I mean, it's probably pretty likely that this is just going to be another pullback like some of these other pullbacks we've seen in the most recent past. So yeah, it definitely is going down. Yes, I'm definitely looking for shorts. I think it might just go down, maybe touch this bottom back here, maybe make some sort of a three-way pattern and just keep on trending up. So I'm definitely looking for shorts, but I think there's a pretty good likelihood that all of these yen pairs are in a correction to the uptrend. CAD yen, same type of thing. I mean, yeah, we are looking for shorts. It is definitely going down. I would be looking for shorts on shorter time frames, but I think there's a pretty good chance it may bounce off one of these lower fib levels and just keep on trending up. Like I said, I'm not looking to find the top of a 5-year uptrend. Who knows? This trend could go on for a couple more years. This could end up being a 7-year uptrend. So definitely still looking for longs. The Kiwi yen, I mean, we are right at a fib level right now. So if it does bounce, if it does break structure, I would stop looking for shorts and I would start looking for longs again. But until we do get that significant Fibonacci bounce, that significant break of structure to the upside, I am definitely on the short side on shorter time frames. Aussie yen. The Aussie has been very strong lately, as you can see on some of the other Aussie pairs. So I mean, this is definitely going down, but it already has a little bit of a three-wave shape. So if it does make a significant break of structure on like the 4-hour, 1-hour time frame to the upside, then I would take it as a long. Like I said, these yen pairs have been in a 5-year uptrend, and I don't really think that that 5-year uptrend is over. It probably will keep trending. Pound yen, same type of thing. I mean, it is going down. It definitely did make a lower high. We did break structure, but there's a very good likelihood this move down is a correction to this move up. I'm looking for a Fibonacci bounce. I'm looking for a break of structure to the upside on shorter time frames to help confirm that it is the end of a correction and that I need to start looking for longs again. But until you get that break of structure to the upside on like the 4-hour time frame, you could continue to look for shorts because I mean it could definitely could drift down, make a bigger pullback like some of these other pullbacks we've seen in the past. So I would be looking for shorts until you get some sort of a significant break of structure to the upside. The euro yen, I think the euro yen is pretty clear that it is not turning up yet. It's probably just a wave A. I mean, it's probably pretty likely that it's going to make at least some sort of a three-way pattern like this, some sort of an ABC. It might even go all the way down and take out this low right here. So definitely looking for shorts. But I'm just like the other yen pairs, I'm keeping my eye on the Fibonacci retracement levels. And the sort of time frames, if we get a big engulfing move to the upside, if we get a break of structure to the upside, I would stop looking for shorts and I would start looking for longs again. So getting into the dollar pairs, which I actually always consider the US dollar yen more of a yen pair than a dollar pair. I'm wondering if this is actually a wave A. That's why I said some of the other yen pairs may go down and break this low. This is a wave B, and maybe it's just going to go down and make a wave C and then go back up. So definitely looking for shorts. Definitely being a little bit cautious though on the sort of time frames. I mean, if we do get a significant break of structure, we could definitely start looking for longs again. So taking it into the dollar pairs. Now, gold has been on a big rally, as you can see, for about 2 weeks now. I actually think on the weekly, this right here, this wave 5 is a 1. I think this is a big ABC of 2. And then I think we're already in a wave 3 on the weekly. And I think this is a wave 1 of 3. I think this is a WXY2 of 3. And I think we're currently in a wave 3 of wave 3. Wave 3 is supposed to be the biggest, strongest wave of a trend. So a wave 3 of 3 is actually even stronger. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me that it is such a strong trend. And if you go all the way up to the weekly time frame, or even the monthly is probably better. Yeah, the weekly is probably the best. My target for this is the 161.8, which is all the way up to about 25.50, 25.20. Now, it's obviously going to take probably months and months and months for it to get there. There's going to be lots of pullbacks and lots of big moves to the downside, but I do believe that eventually gold is going to make its way all the way up to that 161 Fibonacci extension, which is a long ways up there. So taking it down to the sort of time frames, I just want to really point out one thing right here, because I know a lot of people like to try to identify the top and bottom of trends, but this is very clearly a 1, this is very clearly a 2, and we're very clearly in a wave 3, which we definitely have not broken structure to the downside. So I don't care what kind of strategy you're trading. If you did anything over the last 2 weeks, that told you to go long. If you went long for any kind of a reason at all, then you probably made pretty good money on this pair. If you went short for any reason at all, then you probably lost money. Now, the trend is your friend. I mean, there's no reason at all. I think literally the only reason that anybody would have lost money on this move up is if they tried to go short. And I guarantee you, a lot of people have tried to go short on this thing. We're in a wave 3. We're at the 378% Fibonacci extension. Is it over? We don't have a break of structure. We don't have a lower high. We have nothing that says it's over. It could keep going. There's nothing to say that it couldn't keep going. You would think that a big wave forward come in, and if it does make a wave forward, it'd probably be a pretty big move to the downside. But until this wave 3 is proven to be over with a break of structure to the downside, I don't think you should be doing anything except for looking for longs in a uptrend at the end of pullbacks. So, taking it to the US dollar Swiss, we are still trying to figure out whether or not this really is the end of a wave 2 right here. I mean, it definitely looks like a 1, it looks like a 2, it looks like it should be going down for wave 3, but we still have to be careful. If we switch over to the US dollar real quick, you'll see what I mean. Now, the US dollar, I'm calling this a wave 1, and I'm calling this possibly a wave 2. But I also see the possibility that this right here is a trend, and this could be a wave A, and this could be 3 waves down for a wave B, and it possibly could turn up again for a wave C before it actually does go down. So there definitely is a possibility that it could go back up, and it would still be a 1, it would still be a 2, it would just be a more proper ABC correction for the wave 2. So we really need to keep that in mind. Now this looks to me like a 1, 2, 3. It doesn't look like an ABC. So I'm definitely leaning towards that this is already the end of a wave 2, and we're already in a wave 3, and that the dollar pairs are just going to keep on trending. That's definitely what I'm leaning towards. But if the market proves otherwise, I will definitely listen to what the market says. So if that is the case, if this really is a wave 2, then this really is going to keep on trending down over the coming weeks and probably even months in a wave 3, telling me that you definitely want to be looking for shorts on shorter time frames. So taking it to the US dollar CAD, US dollar CAD, same type of thing. It looks like impulsive up. It looks like 1, 2, 3 down. It looks like an overlapping trend, which is probably a ending diagonal wave C. This one didn't bounce off a fib level, but I mean, most of the time, probably 9 out of 10 times, price does bounce off a fib level, but sometimes it doesn't. Definitely very impulsive down. If it really is the end of a wave two, just like I was showing on the US dollar index, then this will, over the coming weeks and months, continue to make lower lows, lower highs in a wave three. So until that US dollar index proves me otherwise, I am definitely looking at this as a wave three. If the US dollar starts to show evidence that it really is a wave C, like I was just showing, then I will definitely stop looking for shorts and start looking for longs again. But until that happens, I am definitely on the short side. The Kiwi was actually one of the ones that I was a little bit doubting because this does look like 5 ways down. This does look like 3 ways up. It kind of looked like it should have gone down to a lower fib level before it went up, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely going up. Hopefully, this is a wave three. Hopefully, the wave two is over, and hopefully, over the coming weeks, it's going to keep on going up and making a wave three. Now, I know that if the US dollar is in a wave three, then all these dollar pairs are in a wave three, which means even though this kind of looks a little odd, I can call it a wave three because it is probably a wave three on the dollar. If the dollar proves that it's a wave C, then I will know that this is a wave C and I'll know that it needs to go down again. For me, the US dollar, when I'm trading the US dollar pairs, the US dollar index, especially the FXCM, not the DXY, is extremely important to me. I'm a big believer that if you know what the US dollar is doing, then you know what to do on all the US dollar pairs. Now, looking at some of these other ones, I mean, they really look like the end of the cuts, and this looks like a one, this looks like a two. We have a significant break of structure here, wave one, wave two. I think we're very likely in a wave three. We got a big pullback, but that's actually great news for us because that should tell us that we will have opportunities to go long at the beginning of the week, at the end of these pullbacks. I'm looking for 3 waves down. I'm looking for a Fibonacci bounce. I'm looking for an impulsive move up, a break of structure to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. And these are the type of trades that I do take in the members area. If anybody is interested in that, I do these live streams just like I'm doing now, except for we spend way more time. We go down to the sort of time frames that we actually look for entries instead of just analyzing it. Pound dollar, the pound dollar is looking pretty convincing. Wave one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of one, A, B, C, D, E. Wave two, it looks pretty convincing that we're in a wave three right now. And if this is a wave three, just like the other ones, then it will continue to make higher highs, higher lows. So what am I going to be doing? I am definitely going to be looking for pullback entries on shorter time frames. I'm definitely looking for 3 waves down. I'm looking for a impulsive up. Throw a Fibonacci retracement on there. 3 waves down, impulsive up, and golfing move to the upside will be my next entry to go long. I will definitely be on the long side until the US dollar index proves otherwise. And if this really is a wave three, which I do suspect that it is, my target is way up all the way around the 1.44 area, which is a long ways to the upside. So the euro dollar, probably the most popular pair ever, I think is very clearly a wave one also. Now this one did have me doubting a little bit because this move down is technically lower lows, lower highs. It kind of makes you think that it's a wave A, and it could still be a wave B. And just like I was showing on the US dollar index, it could go down and make a wave C. I always try to look at both sides of the coin, and that is definitely a possibility. But if the dollar's in a wave three, if all the other dollar pairs are in a wave three, then this is a wave three also. One, two, in a wave three. If that's the case, we need to continue to look for pullback entries in the coming weeks, probably even coming months, because if this really is a wave three, we have a long ways to the upside. My target for this wave three is definitely above these highs, probably all the way up to around someplace around the 1.26, 1.28 area. So if we really are in a wave three, then I'm literally going to be looking for longs on these dollar pairs for probably the next several months at the end of pullbacks, and I'll probably try to build a position to the long side, and that's going to be amazing for us because if we can build a position to the long side, we are going to be able to see dramatic changes in our trading account, especially by the time the year rolls over. So that is the full list. Like I said, every single day, I analyze everything on this list for my Patreon members. I do a 90-minute live stream in the morning at 7:30 a.m. in the morning for the London live stream. London open 7:30 to about 9 UK time. I take live trades in these trading sessions all the time. I am not a scalper, so it's not like I'm scalping. I'm definitely a swing trader. I also do a New York live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 1 p.m. And we take live trades in this also. The membership also comes with a trading course, about 35 videos, so that way you can help know what my strategy is, access to all the private Discord channels, and I do share every single swing trade I take. I share my stop loss and entry. As far as take profits, you're kind of on your own. You have to learn how to manage your trades yourself. But I do tell you when I'm getting in a trade, and I do tell you where my stop loss is. And most of the time, I do tell you where my take profit is too. So if anybody is interested in joining my premium membership, then the link for that is in the description. And like I said, you definitely get a lot for your money. We can run through everything on this list twice a day from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on. On Monday, we just do a New York live stream. So, anyways, as always, I hope everybody has a very profitable, a very good, happy week to come, and happy trading as always.